We are going to be working with the quotient of powers. There are a couple of ways how we can actually divide this. The way how I like to do it is by understanding how many factors do we have. So for this one, let me just do it kind of quick. We have 4 factors. That means that we have 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. And all of this is going to be divided by 4 to the second power. You have 2 factors. The exponent is going to tell you how many factors you have. So the way how I like to do it is this way. 4 divided by 4, you get 1. 4 divided by 4, you get 1. And you can see what is left. You end up with 4 to the second power. Okay. The way how I do it is this way. How many factors do we have? We have 4, and then we have 2 of them, and you can see them. So that means that at the most that I can cancel will be 2 of them. And then out of 4, you cancel 2 of them. So you end up with 4 to the second power. You have more in the numerator. And that's where the leftover should be. So what I do is whenever you cancel all of them, you should write a 1. Okay, there is a 1 right next to this number 4 to the second power. And then the answer should be 4 squared. Okay, because 4 squared divided by 1, you get 4 squared. Well, that's the way how I like to do it because it gets a little bit crazy over here. The thing is, the book, they want to do it this way. Okay, so you have 4 squared, 4 to the 4th power. And what they want to do is they want to bring it up. So you have 4 to the 4th power. Once you bring this up, oh, not this one. Once you bring this up, 2 things will change. The the exponent is going to change from positive 2 into negative 2. Okay. And it used to be dividing, now changes into adding. And then you add the exponents, and that's how you're going to get 4 squared. But here is where it gets a little bit crazy, okay? So that's why I don't like to do it this way, but I'm gonna do it both ways for now. So let's do the next one. The way I like to do it is this way. I have 3 W's or 3 factors on top, 5 at the bottom. At the most that I can cancel will be 3 of them. Out of 5, you cancel 3 of them, so you end up with 2. And you have more in the denominator, so that's how you end up with W to the second power. And you can see how you cancel all of it, right? Whenever you cancel everything on top on the numerator, you must write a 1. So here is going to be a fraction. That's the answer. Okay. The way the book wants you to do it is this way. You have W to the 3rd power. And then what they want to do is to bring this up, and 2 things will change. It used to be dividing. That's what it means, dividing. And it's gonna change dividing into multiplying. And the exponent changes from positive 5 into negative 5. Then you're gonna add them up, and you're gonna end up with W to the negative second power. Because it's negative, you're never gonna leave it negative. What you're gonna do is write it over 1, and then you're gonna switch it. The exponent will be always positive. Don't leave it negative. So that would be the answer. So you can see clearly it's easier this way. Okay. Now look at the next one. The exponent is 1 if you don't see it. Okay. So the way how I like to do it is this way. I have 4 factors, okay, on top, 1 at the bottom. because this is 1. At the most that I can cancel will be 1. Out of 4, you cancel 1. You end up with 2 to the third power. Then look at the variable n. You have 2 factors on top. You have 2 of them. And the most that you can cancel will be 2. Out of 5, you cancel 2. And you end up with n to the third power. Okay, you see how easy this is? On the other hand, if you do it just like the book wants you to do it, so you have 2 to the fourth power, then you're gonna bring this one, you're gonna bring it up, and that's how you're gonna end up with times. It used to be dividing, now it's gonna be multiplying. You end up with 2 to the negative first power. Then this is gonna be times n to the second power, and then you see n to the fifth, you're gonna bring it up. And it used to be dividing, now it's gonna be multiplying. So you're gonna end up with times n to the negative fifth power. Now adding the exponents, remember whenever you have multiplication between two powers, to get the answer, you're gonna be adding the exponents. So adding 4 minus 1, you get 2 to the third power, okay? And then adding n to the second power times n to the negative fifth power, you end up with n to the negative third power. Now, what you're gonna do now is you need to switch this one, all right? It is in the numerator, you have to bring it down to have the exponent change from negative into positive. So that's how you get n to the third power. And you can see the answers, right? They are the same. Okay, but it's a little bit more work if we do it this way. Okay, now look at the next one. You have 2 to the sixth power, you have 6 of them on the numerator, and then 2 to the third power. And the most that you can cancel will be 3. And out of 6, you cancel 3 of them, so you end up with 2 to the third power. Then 5 squared, and then this is 5 to the fifth power. So you have 5 on top, 2 at the bottom. At the most that you can cancel will be 2. Out of 5, you cancel 2. You end up with 5 to the third power. Okay? And you can see clearly how it's going to get a little bit more difficult. But if we do it my way, you have 2 to the third power. Okay? And then 2 to the fifth. At the most that you can cancel will be 3. Out of 5, you cancel 3. You end up with 2 to the third power. Now, if you don't see the exponent is going to be 1. So 5 to the third power, it means that you have 3 of them, and then you have only 1 in the denominator. So the most that you can cancel will be 1. Out of 3, you cancel 1. You end up with 5 squared. And then 8, you have 4 on the numerator, 2 in the denominator. At the most that you can cancel will be 2. Out of 4, you cancel 2 of them. So you end up with 8 to the second power. Okay. And now the last one, you have 2 to the third power. And this is going to be 2 to the fifth. And the most that you can cancel will be 3 of them. Out of 5, you cancel 3 of them. You end up with 2 to the second power, and that will be in the denominator. Now, you see number 4, the exponent is 1. So that means that at the most that you can cancel will be 1. Out of 3, you cancel 1, so you end up with 4 squared. And the last one, you have r to the fourth power. That means you have 4 of them on the numerator and 2 in the denominator. So you can cancel 2. Out of 4, you cancel 2. You end up with r to the fourth power. All of this is multiplication, okay? 4 squared is going to be multiplying r to the fourth, and then all of this is going to be divided by 2 to the second power. If they tell you to simplify, then that's what you do. You only multiply 4 times 4, that would be 8. I mean 16, huh? That would be 16, and then times r to the fourth power divided by 2 times 2, that would be 4. And you can see 16 divided by 4, that should be 4r to the fourth power. That would be the answer.